Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Monday, April 27th, as we prepare for, hey, this is the last week of April. What are the markets going to do? Where are we going to end up? We still have concerns about when's this market going to open up? When's the economy going to open back up? We'll talk about that a little bit this morning, as well as what's going to happen this week as we look at what could happen in the markets, earnings, those type of things that we have coming forward. So, hey, but it's a great time still to get a financial x-ray on your current portfolio. To do that, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Hey, looking forward to our conversation with Dave this morning. That's what we'll hear next.
It's and it's Morning Dave here. We're at 8:38. It's 22 before 9. Let's check in and see what's going on with money, shall we? Head downtown, or actually down to an undisclosed location because Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services is operating from home this morning. Well, guess what, Phillip? We get to talk about oil again this morning, don't we?
We do. It keeps raising its ugly head, and it continues to fall, and it becomes the biggest topic around right now because here's what I read. In 3 weeks, Dave, if we don't literally stop production, if the worldwide production of oil is not stopped, in 3 weeks, we won't have a single place on the world to put any more oil.
Yeah, I got a bunch of old coffee cans that I could leave. You know, it really is. You made the point before we went on the air. The Saudis and I think the Russians as well were kind of doing their best to put our oil shale industry out of business. Well, that train's already left the station because at $45 a barrel, they barely break even. We're now down this morning at $13.02 a barrel for oil. You can't give that stuff away. And that's the June futures, and it was a lot higher than that on the May futures at this point in time in last month. And boy, we certainly said goodbye to that in a hurry, didn't we?
Yeah, we really did, Dave. And that's not all. I mean, we talk about the oil producers, but the other part of the oil industry is the gas, right? So there's no, I mean, gas guys, they're not buying any oil either. They don't have any place to sell it. Nobody's buying it. And they say that our use, our demand has dropped by 33, I think, or 36 million barrels per day is how much demand has dropped. That's a third of the world's supply of oil.
I was going to say, just project it across you and me. I mean, I used to fill up my tank of gas once a week. Now I'm going 10 to 12 days between fill-ups because all I'm doing is going from home to the office and back, and that's about it. I'd imagine your gas usage has been about the same. It's dropped by that much, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's, we're just not filling up because we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, now project that across, 300-odd million people in our country and a few billion around the world because the whole dang world is on lockdown. We're basically putting the oil business out of business and literally in the case of one of the major offshore companies, right?
Exactly. And so we had another casualty. I don't know if it's our first casualty. I don't think it is. I think there's one that a week or so ago that filed. But Diamond Offshore filed for Chapter 11 over the weekend, being a casualty, and that's going to affect Lowe's, not Lowe's, the department, not the home improvement store, but Lowe's, another holding company, because they own 53% of Diamond Offshore.
Absolutely. I recall last week, one of the columnists I was reading said that if the oil prices keep this low for the next few months, by the end of next year, we could have like 300 publicly traded oil and gas companies all having to go toes up. So we've seen one or two now, Diamond Offshore being the one that makes the big difference today because it's the current news. But, I mean, it's always fun talking about and giggling about cheap gas, but there is a break point, something you and I have been harping on. And basically, if we were paying $2.25 for a gallon of gas, we might whine a little bit about the increase from where we're at, but we'd actually be an energy-independent country at that basis because that would equate to a $40, $42 a barrel oil price. As it is, everybody's in trouble.
Exactly. And, hey, you and I'd be happy paying $2.25 because we've seen it as high as over $4.
Yeah.
So, hey, if I'm down below 250 a gallon, I'm happy. But and that's where we need it to be for the oil industry here in the United States to be successful. And I believe, to me, oil independence is important. Energy independence is important for our nation. But it's going to be one of the casualties we see.
Absolutely. What I find absolutely fascinating is back when we were looking at the last dip in oil prices, I'd done some snooping around at $12, $13 a barrel. There isn't a single producer that can make money at it because even the Saudis, with the cheapest oil extraction rate in the world, I think if I remember, and this is a number that I'm pulling out of my derriere because I don't remember exactly, but I think they were something like $20 a barrel for extraction. So even they're losing their butts on these prices.
Well, they are, because they basically had to lay off their people and come down to very skeletal crews. And if we don't get that under control, like I said, the next 3 weeks, there won't be a place to put a drop of oil. And so production will have to stop because nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah, my wiseacre remark about coffee cans might not be such a dumb idea. It's gotten downright silly. Other fallout from the coronavirus crisis, GM is busily making ventilators. They don't carry a tenth the profit margin a car does. So they said, stockholders, sorry, we're cutting our dividend, right?
Yeah, they did. They suspended their dividend. They're trying to keep all the cash that they can. Obviously, they've stopped all their stock buybacks right now. It's all in an effort to preserve cash. They did renew a credit line they had. They have a $3.6 billion 3-year revolving credit line, and so they've got that and renewed it and extended it till April of 2022.
There's ain't nothing really all that pretty. We were talking before we went on the air. AutoNation, the big chain of publicly traded automotive dealerships, were supposed to report on Friday, didn't. We're supposed to report this morning before the market opens, haven't so far. About the only bit of news we got on AutoNation, other than the fact that they aren't telling us anything, is the fact they got in trouble with the government, huh?
Well, yeah, they changed some of the guidelines on the payroll protection program, and AutoNation had taken a pretty good chunk of that money. So they're going to return $77 million that they received from the payroll protection program. So, hey, when all this is said and done, Dave, there's a lot more companies that took money that were not small businesses. And so maybe when we get all that back, that should be coming back, there may be another, 100 to 150 billion dollars for small businesses there.
And that'll be a big help because we got an awful lot of them that are on the ropes that got in a little bit late and missed the first wave of government allegations.
Well, yeah, and the reason they missed was because the big companies took it all.
Yeah. I kind of give Shake Shack a little bit of credit. They didn't know whether or not they were going to qualify. They said the individual operations would, but the overall company didn't. Once they found out they'd gotten the money, and they shouldn't have, but even before the press got to it, they returned the money. I got to give them some credit, at least as a standout, right?
They did. You're right. They got right up on it and sent it back first above everybody else. So, hey, on the earnings front, Dave, I got a couple. Deutsche Bank reported their quarterly profits were ahead of expectations. I don't have the detailed numbers, but they did do better than expected on earnings per share. They're saying that this current quarter, don't look for that to be the case because loan defaults, they're having to put more money in reserves and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there's no pricing because they're a German-based company, and so we don't have any of their stock prices right now.
I'm kind of scanning through my ticker, and I'm not seeing any actual reports that are coming out to speak of down the line, but about a bunch of tidbits. Did you find any reports per se?
I do have one. The other one I have is I'm going to scan through here and find it. Checkpoint Software. The cybersecurity company. They beat by 4 cents a share. Revenue beat also. They had a boost because of everybody working from home. So they've had an increase in subscriptions because of that. And so They're up this morning, a little over 3%.
All right. The one bit of tidbit that I had that caught my eye off the ticker, again, not a report per se, Neiman Marcus announced a bunch of store closings, and that comes as part of an article from an analyst that says they expect like 100,000 stores to close within the next, call it 3 years. So not a pretty sight for the current state of the marketplace at the moment. Can't tell from looking at the stock markets, though. Friday, we were an up day on Wall Street. Dow was up by over a full percent, up 260 points. NASDAQ was up 1 2/3%, up almost 140. And the Standard & Poor's was up better than 1 1/3, up 39 points on Friday. You'd almost think things were looking good 45 minutes before we open. How are they looking this morning, Phillip?
Dave, we're back green. We're still green again today. And I think a lot of that's due to the fact that all the noise we're hearing about the economy moving forward, that we're going to open states back up to commerce. And so I think that's what's driving the market. Definitely not the numbers.
Yeah, nothing on the numbers says it, but optimism that we're actually going to be opening up for business in parts of the country can't hurt.
No, it can't. So everything's green. We've got the Dow up almost 1%, the S&P 500 up almost 1%, NASDAQ's up 1.2%. So everything's looking good there. We flipped to the commodities side. We've got silver up 0.6%. We've got gold up basically 0.1%. Not much there. Crude oil, we've got down 23.5%, down below 13, Dave, to $12.95 a barrel right now.
Just while we were talking, it went down about 15 cents a barrel. This is not looking good for the oil business. Overseas markets, everything is kind of following our lead from Friday in our futures. Asian markets uniformly up over the weekend, and at the close today, Japan was up by almost 2 3/4%. Things are looking good there. Europe also following suit with substantial green numbers halfway through their day. Phillip, green ink is good things, but it also doesn't mean that you should jump in with both feet into equities. Solid advice from somebody with a level head is in order. How do I reach out and find you for that level head?
Absolutely, David. Give us a call at 863-382-0037. Schedule a free financial x-ray to see how much risk they have in their current portfolio. Now, they may think they already know because they've taken a hit, but you don't know. This leg up could also be a leg down later. So now's a great time, because it is going up, to make sure you don't have too much risk. And we can do that virtually. We can do it via the telephone, Zoom meetings, or we can meet you in the office. And so either way, follow us on Facebook at Statler Financial Services. Check out our webpage at statlerfinancial.com, and then join us every weekend for our Statler Financial radio show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings on your sister station, News Talk 730.
It's also streams, by the way, at newstalk730am.com and with free apps on your cell phones. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow morning, all right?
All right, man. You have a great day.
Be well, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. Remember.
Hey, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope that your day and your week is off to a great start. Don't be focused on the ups and downs of the market. Focus on your health, especially given where we are today. But keep us in mind, we're here to help however we can. Give us a call, 863-382-0037. We want to be your retirement coach. Take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow.